Hello. That was shorter than I anticipated. So, welcome, whether you are on site or on your way online, whether you are in Dronfield, currently stuck in Woodseats trying to get from St Paul's in Norton Leeds to St Paul's in Dronfield, over the Sheffield-Derbyshire border, so, you know, or whether you're in Germany or anywhere else, or even Parson Cross. All right, Nick. All right, Gisela. Welcome. While I wait for others to arrive, I just need to take this off full screen because it is very unnerving looking at myself like that, as I'm sure it is for you. Yes, so welcome. Just to remember that whoever we are and whatever we've experienced in our life, I believe that we carry the divine within us. We're custodians of God, as Pantocrator once said, but that you are welcome as you are, and we give thanks and love that you are part of this, and a chance to share together. I know it's a compline, and 3 o'clock in the afternoon is a bit early for night prayer, unless you had a really, really, really big night the night before. But it's a chance to be together, perhaps easier to get together during the daytime than the evening. So thank you for being part of it. And whoever you are, and wherever you are, and however you are welcome in this space. And it is what it is because you are part of it.
You're welcome here if you're she, he, we, or they. You're welcome here if you're gay, straight, or working it out. You're welcome here if you're in a relationship, single, divorced, or widowed. You are welcome here if you're inked, pierced, both, or neither.
You're welcome here if you're young.
Or young at heart.
You're welcome here if your neurons like to be typical or like to be spicy. You're welcome here if you're more Christian than Colin from Witch Hazel, or haven't got the whole faith thing yet.
You are welcome here if you're living on a prayer or could use a prayer right now. You are welcome here if you've got it all sorted or if you've got doubts. You are welcome here.
So, just want to say hello to those who are online. I'm just going to scroll back, not that far. So, there's Gisela over Germany. Hope you're all right. Hope the family are all right. And Tina, who is on her way with others. So, you know, pedal faster. And others, Nick, and big shout out later because Joyce is going to be watching this back later on, and she's gone out to see the last Showgirl film. So hope it was good, and good to join you later on. That isn't now, in a very Doctor Who mind-blowing kind of way. What we normally do is share just how life is, I guess. So the first thing we do is just acknowledge that we are together, and whatever we're experiencing, whether it's good stuff or difficult stuff, just the fact that we are part of something bigger than and beyond ourselves can be a form of encouragement and support, whether we've met in person for the first time, which is amazing, or whether we kind of know each other online. That all of that is equally valid and being part of a community where all are welcome. So I invite you to join in these words, preferably if you are at a football match. Please just shout this as loud as you can from public transport. Tap the person on the shoulder, next to you on the shoulder, and shout this to them in a friendly manner, obviously, not in a sort of an aggressive way, but in a Christian way. Shout it in a Christian. I don't know what that means. Let's say these words together. You are welcome to join in the words in yellow.
As moon rises, the sun slips sight, begins the ritual of this night, for those convinced their path is right. gathered from north, south, east and west, yet called at another's behest, those treading the path that is left. From near and far come as you are to this place, and embrace this space as darker hue embraces you.
Hello, Hugh. We all right?
Spirit, earth and fire, confessing the sins of empire, we come with our wounds and desire. Sensing that we are not alone, drawn to the flame that guides us home, for here you, me, and yet to be. Importance and signs of these times, for the sake of all those maligned, is yet the home of the divine.
So I wonder if there's things, I think it was about a week ago we did this online. I wonder if there's things from the last week that have felt particularly positive or uplifting for you. Maybe it's somewhere you've been, maybe it's people you've caught up with, maybe it's conversations you've had, maybe it's a gig you've been to, maybe it's a Sheffield Wednesday result that wasn't as bad as you expected. Maybe it's a Notts County result that really was as bad as you expected, but never mind, Wimbledon. I'm still waiting for Chesterfield. If it's bad news, Neil, don't tell me. Thank you. But maybe there's things that have given you a sense of joy or of hope, kind of lifted your spirits, made your soul sing, put you back in touch with the things that make you feel alive and just, a part of who you are. So just a chance to share some of those things. So if you're in the room, then I'll ask you to shout out what those are in a minute, if that's okay. No pressure to, but if you want to, you're welcome to. And if you're online, please do drop us a comment of what has lifted your spirits, your soul, just giving you hope and joy this week or this day, with a comment on YouTube or on Facebook. What is it for which you are thankful? So thankful that you want to say it in Norse, because it is more Viking, therefore inherently more metal. What makes you want to say not one thank you, but 1,000 thank yous, to say tusen tack?
Hear the crowd as we roar. See the eagle it soars. Win and reign. Refresh once more. From fear, hope redefined. We will not be denied. For are we yet alive?
it's all gone too. Shall we be downcast too? Or stand shield to shield, together in the field, we refuse to yield. Steadfastly holding the line, full of wings in eternity's time, we keep pressing forward until the last, and our crash shall be forever. Choose attack.
Sorry, smacking my drink on the microphone. That doesn't help anybody. Apologies to anybody just listening on headphones. Isn't that going trying to look at two things at once, which is never a good idea. Oh, now what am I watching? I'm watching somebody do a bass cover. That's not what I want. Anyway, I'm going to look through comments online. So yes, with Nick, a choose attack for the fact you stopped feeling sick. That's good news. Sorry to hear you've not been well, mate. I think in the room here, Neil wanted to say a choose attack and a thank you to people who've been kind of calling him. He might have hadn't perhaps been able to answer the call, but just to know that others are thinking of him, and that offer of kind of care and keeping in touch with people. And Sharon, you had one as well.
I'd like to say choose attack to the very, very kind and efficient breakdown recovery chap who came and helped me when I broke down in the dark at night. My car was dead as a dodo, and I was particularly upset because it was the day after the anniversary of my husband's death, and it was his car, and I thought I'd broken it. And he came out, he not only sorted the car out, he made me a cup of tea. And the next morning, one of his colleagues came out and put a new part in. So I'd like to say choose and tap and thank you for their kindness.
Cool. So I'm just going to say, hopefully people heard it online. I'm not sure, so let us know, because we haven't got a microphone facing that way. So yeah, Sharon's just sharing that, breaking down, at not the best time in terms of anniversary of a death, but also in a car that was, part of your life and your story, and emotionally significant, and all those things, and that happening, but actually the love and the care and support of experts who came out in the dark. And Hild would have been proud that you were given a cup of tea as well. I do hope it was Yorkshire tea. Did you?
It was Yorkshire tea.
Oh, no way!
Yes, we have Yorkshire tea.
Hild.
I managed to drop one of the mugs and break it because my hands were so cold.
Yeah.
But yes, we have Yorkshire tea.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. There we are. Hild is proud. And with Gisela choose and tack, because her mum celebrates her 96th birthday on Thursday. Being 3 hours away, wasn't able to be there. But called. Yes. So Gisela, Neil shouting from Onsite here, happy birthday on Thursday. Shall we sing Gisela's mum a death metal happy birthday? Which is basically the same as happy birthday, but you sort of growl more. on the count of four. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And if that hasn't completely ruined your day, stay tuned for more. Yes. So, anything else that people want to say thank you for, just to share good stuff that's happened since the last time that we met?
I've got to go to the gym.
Whoops, say it again. Sorry, Lily. Been to the gym. Wow, that's impressive. I haven't. So well done. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Any particular thing you're doing at the gym, or?
I'm getting my strength up because I'm doing a 10K in the summer.
Wow. Yeah. See, I don't even run for the ice cream van anymore. That's impressive. So we are thinking of you, and fair play as you get towards that. That's amazing. And Nick is a bit of a runner, so he may have some tips. My tip would be, don't. No, it's fine. No. It's a really good thing that you're doing. That's impressive, and that dedication to keep doing it. So. Well, it's all right. We could all sort of be there and throw sort of water at you as you pass. Obviously, we'd kind of not take it out of the bottle first because it might hurt. But yeah. Anything else that people want to be thankful for?
I got a bunch of new dresses and corsets.
Ah, cool. So, hooray for goth.
Hooray.
Yes. So, thank you for sharing what this day. And Nigel isn't here from the West Midlands, which is, obviously not as good as Yorkshire, and only slightly not as bad, or only slightly better. No, slightly worse than the East Midlands, because that's where we are. But Yorkshire's all right, Hild. So thank you for sharing what this day has made Yao say. That was my best Nigel voice. Guten Tag. But maybe, as well as the good stuff, there's be some rubbish stuff. I think if we are reading newspapers, listening to news, there's a lot of stuff that is very concerning going on, but maybe kind of close to home in your own life as well. There's been stuff that is challenging, and so an opportunity to just acknowledge those things, the things that are heavy and not in a cool metal way. And if it's stuff that we've kind of done that we wish we hadn't done, or things that we wish we had done or said, and we're beating ourselves up about it, a chance to kind of acknowledge that, but to kind of lay it down and to leave it here, so you don't have to kind of walk around feeling guilty and weighed down by it. And if it's something else that you are carrying, maybe it's a caring situation, maybe it's concern about a loved one, maybe it's just your own health and well-being, whatever it is, a chance to acknowledge the toughness of some of that, and to acknowledge it together with each other, because then it's that sense of we carry these burdens together, and there's support and encouragement in that. It's what being part of a community is all about. So a chance to reflect about that. And so in the room at St. Paul's, we've got some stones. Just remember that people in stone houses shouldn't throw glass. So if you would like to lay down a stone, there is a metal tray. It's kind of still tray shaped. It's not very heavy metal, so it's quite bent. But if you want to lay that down, I don't know if because we're on the edge of the Peak District here, and if you've ever gone out in the Peak District, sometimes people put stones on top of other stones as a sign that they've passed that way. You might never know who that person was, but over time you get these great mountains. We've got a colleague down in Devon, where it always rains. It always rains in Devon. It's never sunny in Devon, is it, Wayne? And in fact, it's so sunny they have to put the cream and jam the wrong way around on their cream teas. But there they have on the beach a prayer cairn. So they put these stones, and people just put a stone down to represent the thing that concerns them, that they're praying for. So there's stones, if you want to make a cairn, as a sign that you were here and that you are known and named and valued for who you are, just as you are, then you can do that. If it's something that is almost, I guess, a grief, a thing you're carrying that's difficult, then there are some flowers as well that you're welcome just to scatter on the front step at the front of the church, or a stone. So they're on the two front seats as you come forward. And if you're at home, again, maybe there's something letting a stone or a pebble go into a bowl of water, or something that just helps you symbolize whatever it is, and that sense of letting it go, or just acknowledging that it's there. And sometimes when things are acknowledged and out of us, perhaps they're less, not necessarily, maybe less painful, or we're able to see them in a different way because they're sort of in some way there, rather than just swimming around inside us and in our heads and stuff. And that can be helpful sometimes. So shut up, James. Yeah, shut up. Thanks, Hild. Some time to think and to respond to those things that are heavy and not in a cool metal way. The things we want to let go of, turn away from, lay down. a very, very slow fade. So I shall try and, it's not a sick fade. I'll get rid of it. What's it doing? What's happening? Hilda broken it. Ah, there we are. So yes, thank you for sharing. The cream tea controversy started again. Surely you don't put butter on it as well as cream and jam, John, Nick. Even no? Do you? Anybody else put butter on as well as? Sorry, cream instead of butter. Oh. Just yeah. And before long, you'll have Wayne Grewcock in here talking about flipping Christmas cake and cheese. They're weird in Yorkshire. No, we're not. Yes, you are. Okay. So Gisela just let us know that the Saint gig in Hamburg was cancelled. That's very sad to hear. I hope everything's all right with the band, because that would have been an amazing gig. So we've lit candles and stones and whatever you've acknowledged in the way that's right for you, whether you're joining us online. So just to hear and share these words together, so that what we can do, we can leave those things here, and anything else that we know we need to move forward by picking up again, we know that we do it together, not carrying those burdens on our own. So I invite us to say together these words.
The principalities and will to power, the worms from within my own darkest hour. I confess all the regrets and the regrets, the burdens and fears, the lament and the tears. I lay them down.
And so I believe that when we do, God in Jesus comes running out to meet us, no matter how far away we feel from God, or God, love divine, the other hope fills from us. God in Jesus comes running out to meet us, arms open wide, and says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, even if you don't like Iron Maiden, though why wouldn't you? And I will give you rest. May rest and peace and hope be yours in whatever way you need it this day." And So, I don't know what to do next. I know. Reading from the Bible. What is metal so metal? It is made of paper. Yes. The metal Bible. That was meant to be a seamless link into the thing, and I've messed it up now. I'll do it again. No, don't do it again. Okay, I won't. And now we're reading from the Bible. And so they are. So I think those who Kate's order came, my order hasn't come yet, but those who've ordered them will be getting them. So it's ordered. Lily's got hers. This is awesome. So if you have one with you, if not, I think there are Bibles at the back. If you want to follow it, it's a slightly different translation, but we'll all get there together. I shall read it. Bob Fleming. As Jesus went down from there, two people came crying loudly, "Have mercy on us, Son of David." When he entered their house, the men came to him, and Jesus said to them, "Do you believe that I'm able to heal you?" They said, "Yes, Lord." Then he touched them. "According to your faith, let it be done," they said. And their eyes were opened. And Jesus said to them, "See that no one knows of this." But they went away and spread the news about him throughout that district. So a story, I guess, about healing, about wholeness, about perhaps realizing who Jesus is. I guess, being able to see and know and sense in our spirits who Jesus is. That thing that gets in the Bible talked about in terms of deep calling to deep, that sometimes God's Spirit and that's deep within us, the things that makes us want to shout tooth and tack, the thing that we want to lament and grieve over, and that sort of level of emotion, that those two things, deep calls to deep in that way. And sometimes we connect with another person in a very deep way. And this is the story that happens to these two people who are on the edge of society because of illness, and so they were seen as different and other, and their encounter with Jesus makes them part of community, that they are seen and known and listened to and valued by Jesus. That sense of whoever we are, no matter how on the edge we feel, no matter what other people have said about us or even done to us, that in Jesus we all belong, and that it's a different way of being, perhaps, to the way the world is, where perhaps if you've got the most money or the most power in the way the world understands it, I don't know, you're the biggest billionaire, I nearly said something else then, biggest billionaire on the planet, and you own your own media platform, so you can say whatever you want on it. Maybe that's what we see as power, when actually Jesus comes along and says those who are on the edge and forgotten, those are the people who God says are first in God's kingdom, in a time that will be where there'll be no more crying or dying, and God will wipe every tear from our eyes. And that time starts with Jesus. So I wonder how you hear that reading. I wonder what your experience is of feeling different or othered or on the edge, and how maybe through Jesus you feel known and named and included. Maybe through church you've been able to feel known and named and included. Maybe equally church has done the exact opposite, and you haven't felt included or known or named, or ways in which we have found it difficult to be part of community for the way that other people view us. But how faith, how this message of Jesus, this good news that you are amazing and wonderfully and fearfully made, and that Jesus wants this kind of relationship with you, and that those who are on the edge are the people that Jesus puts first. What does that kind of mean to you? So I'm just going to play a bit of music while we have a think about it, and then if there's anything that people want to share in comments online or in a shout out in the room, we can have a discussion. So here we go. Is there anything that people want to share, having heard that reading, in terms of your own experience of how, maybe times we felt not part of things, excluded because of who we are, things that we can't, we are who we are. We're made the way we're made. But sometimes there can be all sorts of barriers put in place, either because of physical stuff, maybe mental stuff, emotional stuff, right down to the sort of music we like or the way we choose to dress, and other people's responses, often quite intolerant to that, and how perhaps through music or through faith or ways in which you have felt part of something, and where Jesus might figure in any of that. So anything that people want to share.
Somebody might have seen on the Facebook page this week, we shared some details about the Sophie Lancaster
Yes.
Foundation.
Yeah, so I think those who, if you don't know the Sophie Lancaster, so this is somebody who was her and her boyfriend attacked. I mean, I think not just attacked, but lured. I can't say that word. Lured. No, that's wrong, isn't it? Lured. That sounds really weird. When I say it sounds really weird out loud. What do I mean? Lured. Convinced to go to a place, kind of, encouraged to go there for not very nice reasons. So people were, encountering a group of people in the park. It all kind of came about that they were, I think for anybody who's a goth or, dresses a certain way, then, you perhaps to some extent spend some of your life being used to people kind of occasionally shouting out things to you, like cheer up goth, or, get a haircut or whatever.
I get people in college barking at me.
Barking at you?
Yeah, and asking me if I've got cuts on my wrists.
So it's, this whole thing that, that actually, no, you just like that sort of music and like that style, and it doesn't, could be a goth and be sad, you could be a goth and be really happy, it's just, it was just who we are. But people's intolerances and assumptions, and so Sophie and her boyfriend were lured to this park. If I say it quick, it sounds better, and were attacked, and she died. And so, I think her mum and her family set up the Sophie Lancaster Foundation that is about trying to encourage tolerance and acceptance and conversations between different parts of society. When we look at the world at the minute, whether it's, who wants to charge what for what product or based on where it came from, or, who decides based on history or your view of history and your own kind of version of truth about who owns which bit of land, or who's allowed to be a country with their own army and sovereign state and who's not. All of that stuff, it's all just division and the othering of each other. But I think so. Do check out that post about ways to support the Sophie Lancaster Foundation if you are somebody who, if you are at school or at college and you think you're the only person who likes this sort of music, who wants to dress in this way, and life can be a bit difficult sometimes, then there are places of support. I think that's what we're trying to do, is to provide a place where we can just all be who we are, and to celebrate that, not trying to make anybody be like us or us be like them, just like celebrate our differences as all being made in the image of God. So thank you. Anything else that people want to share?
Lord, I ask that you are with all people, whatever their situation is in life, whether they are free access and ability to do things, but whether they feel unable to do things, whether they know they are unable to do things, and people who know their situations are not what the majority of people are, the people who have full availability to work out the situations. Please be with the world.
Thank you, Neil. So Neil, if you, not sure if it comes out on the stream, but Neil just praying for people. Sorry. Cool. Kate's typing it. There it is. I've seen it. It's there. Cool. Hello, Ali. There we go. Yeah. Yes.
I just think if people just treated other people the way that they would like to be treated, and not be so judgmental.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's, I can say from a personal standpoint, when my husband was very ill, and he was in a wheelchair, and we had oxygen, and I was pushing him around and trying to do my best, and I'm not very big.
Yeah.
The number of people who turned away, we don't want to look at that. And I just think, well, can you just open the door for me, please?
Right.
It's not contagious. You know, and when we were the last few weeks, we were in a hospice, and there were some people in there who didn't get visitors because always it upset us to go and see them. And you just think, put yourself in their place.
Yeah.
Just a smile.
Yeah.
Hold somebody's hand. Just be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems to be a difficult thing for us people to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So Shannon's just talking about, it's treating people like we want to be treated, whatever we believe or don't believe. I mean, so I had some car issues this week, and remember having this chat with a guy who ran it, and it was, I don't know, I think you work out what people do for a living, and you wear one of these that you can't see because I've just put a message over it. And then people think you're going to be like super holy. No, we all know that. But people go, you're saying, but I'm not sure whether I believe in God, but I just think you treat other people how you want to be treated. And he talked about the way he was doing that in his own way, and you think you're amazing, and whether you know God, I think God knows you, and that's fine. But it's when, perhaps how we feel is perhaps more important than how we might actually offer that little bit of love and care, and acknowledging that each person is made and known and loved by God, just as we are. Thank you. Anything else that people want to share? No pressure to. So I think it was just about so these were two. So in that story, it's two people who, because of illness, are excluded. I think back from a 2,000 years ago, a mindset where illness was seen as either religiously impure, and all sorts of I'd like to think we wouldn't have the same view now, because we've 2,000 years of further knowledge and understanding in terms of what we experience being some sort of punishment or judgment from God, or that physical illness in a physical material world, where we've used medicine, nature for medicine, but also done terrible things to creation and messed with stuff in various ways. We are, in the words of Queen, the world that we created. But actually, to say that, at that time, if you were seen as unclean or impure in some way, often linked to an illness, then you were shunned from community. And just wondering how, each of us may have experienced that sense of not belonging, and in what ways faith or music or a combination of those things or anything else that has helped you find a sense of belonging. And I guess the point of doing all this is just to hope that in some way, this is a place where people feel they can belong, whatever music they like, but particularly if they're people who are involved or interested in faith, or in spirituality, and noise, and all the things that quite often aren't held up as sort of things that churchy people are supposed to do, because you're meant to be quiet and pray quietly, and that's very, very spiritual, but perhaps a place where our love of loud music or dressing a certain way or just being who we are is accepted in ways that perhaps in other settings, we know that it's not, and that can be tiring. So a place of at least being together and supporting each other in that way. So, and just to ask then, I guess, if there's anything that people want to bring as and for prayer from what we've spoken about today, from other things. I know we've got a couple of things to share already. So I'm going to play some music, and if you would like to, there are still some candles. And if they start to go out, there's some new candles as well. So if you want to light a candle as a prayer for yourself, for a loved one, for a situation in your own life, your own community, or indeed anywhere in the world, then an invitation to do that, or to ask someone to do that for you. And maybe want to light a candle at home if you are. If you're not at home near a candle, don't light anything else. What is it you bring as and for prayer? And we'll offer that together.
Crown of thorns for all my scorn. I feel your breath as you love me to death.
Sorry, getting my steps in. So thank you for everything that's been shared. So just to pray with Nick. So praying for all those who feel marginalised, whether it's in the world, in their communities, or within the church. And to pray for Kate's in-laws. That those people that we are thinking of in the way that is right for them through what I believe to be the Spirit of God that kind of works beyond our own understanding, that those people we are thinking of in those situations somehow through God's love and grace and hope and God's belief in us know that they are known and named and valued and loved in a way where God in Christ on a cross literally moves heaven and earth for the love of each and every person. So I invite us to make our offering to the All-Parent as we share in these words.
To the one in whom all people and all creation have their being, may your kingdom come, your will be done, as above, so below. Sustain us for this day. Show us grace as we seek to show grace to those we feel have wronged us. Save us from the worst that is within us and within this world. For the kingdom, the power and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
So this is a bit where a true professional would have thought of this earlier, like at least the night before, right? But don't worry, because it's me, and I'm not a true professional. I'm not even a false professional. I'm not even never mind a rational. I just want to upload something in a seamless link. So I'm just going to keep waffling on while I'm looking at my computer trying to upload it, while thinking where I might have put it. But I don't know where I put it, but that would have been clever to have thought about where I put it, but I haven't. So I'm still looking for it, and I think it might be somewhere around here. Is it here? Could it be? I don't know. Quite possibly. I'm just aware, you see, that, normally we do Compline, and because that's night prayer, and that's nighttime, at nighttime, in the dark, because it's nighttime. And this is mid-afternoon, so like mid-afternoon metal. But I didn't think about mid-afternoon metal, so we didn't write anything with the words mid-afternoon metal. When we do the morning things, we call it the Metal Methodist Morning Mosh Pit, because it's mornings and moshing and pits. So I thought, because it's halfway through the day, and if you had a big night the night before, then maybe it's only the start of the day, but we've still got some day left. So I'm going to want to share something that acknowledges that when I find it, which I'm still looking for now. But I think I'm getting there, and hopefully nobody's noticed the fact that I know a clue what I'm doing, and this is totally fine. I mean, Neil's not noticed, have you, Neil? Because I'm just like my normal self. He has to put up with this every Sunday morning, the poor man. Where is it? Where is it? I don't know where it is. Where is it? I don't know. There it is. Found it. And nobody was none the wiser. That's how we roll. It's uploading now. I've got the Wheel of Doom. So while we do, can we just pray with Gisela and just think about her daughter, who's perhaps facing a difficult situation and time at work, and that she just knows that she's not on her own, because her awesome mum is there with her, and we are thinking of them and praying for them, and that they are absolutely held and known, and that just a way forward in that situation would be found. So whilst we wait for this to upload, we might do the notices. So notices. Notice number one. So in April, so we're trying to do this on the third Saturday, and so 2,000 years ago, Jesus managed to get himself killed on Good Friday, which means that our next Saturday is Easter Saturday, which from a point of view of Metal Methodist is a bit inconsiderate of Jesus because, like, you know, there's all this Easter stuff going on. But it's all right, we'll let him off. So if you are around on Saturday the 19th of April, then over at Norton Lees, so St. Paul's, but not this one. No, that Norton Lees, St. Paul's, Norton Lees. Before Christmas, we did Metal Carols. That was the longest night for the winter solstice, but also this time it's the darkest night and it really is a chance to just engage with the doom and the gothic kind of musically, but acknowledge that in the story, the Jesus story, Jesus has come along and said, all right, it's good news, people. I'm going to kind of make things better and be this person that's going to set you free and be about justice. And then on Good Friday, people follow him, but on Good Friday, it kind of all goes wrong. He ends up being arrested and killed for being basically a political, social, rebellious person who is going to kind of, upset the apple cart for keeping the peace with the sort of the Roman oppressors and all this sort of stuff. So he's killed basically in a sort of political execution is what happens. And so these people who followed him, who thought he was the one sent by God who was going to sort of make it all good, it's all been for nothing, right? There's utter despair on Easter Saturday. So, and a chance, if you have ever in your life had that sense of utter despair, I'm not quite sure how the hell you put one foot in front of the other, kind of metaphorically, or how you think, well, what is the point of tomorrow, or like where do I go next? What on earth can come after this? A chance to acknowledge that. And it's kind of, sometimes difficult to do because, we want to get to Easter Sunday. I guess as Christians, kind of, the Jesus on the cross is about mending that relationship, an invitation to mend that relationship between heaven and earth, between God and creation, between God and ourselves, between each other as human beings, between each other and creation, the way we treat it, and ultimately within ourselves as well, and what we think of ourselves, that we don't see ourselves as others do, but we see ourselves as God does, as amazing and beautiful and wonderful and fearfully made. And so we kind of go from Good Friday to Easter Sunday, where there is an empty tomb, and if you, through faith, feel that is a sign of hope and an expectedness that maybe that even sin and death, the stuff that separates us from each other and from God, even that is overcome by Jesus, then we can go from one to the other in a sort of big celebratory whoop, sort of like Eurovision. But maybe sometimes it's good on the Saturday just to acknowledge that there is some really tough stuff, and just to acknowledge that for ourselves and for the world. So that's what we're going to be doing on Easter Saturday at Norton Lees. It will be very, very interactive, and everyone is welcome. I think when I spoke to Rachel, the last thing she Googled was church pyrotechnics. Yeah. So wearing capes, amazing. Wearing capes. Oh, that'll be a right caper. So my Anglican colleagues, when they do funerals, they have these amazing woolen capes that are proper Dracula jobs with like sort of red or purple kind of fabric inside. So I might borrow one from somewhere. So we have a full kind of goth out on Easter Saturday. And then on Saturday, the 17th of May, we're still looking for a venue because Ault Maiden, who are Yorkshire, we know Hild, a Yorkshire Iron Maiden tribute band are playing at the Yorkshireman in Sheffield City Centre. So recognising that there might be one or two people who might have heard of Iron Maiden and like Iron Maiden, then if people want to go to that gig, that's fine. If you're going already, you can meet up with us beforehand. So we'll let you know the details of precisely when and where. But that's the 17th of May. And then also, if you are bored on the May Bank Holiday weekend, the second May Bank Holiday weekend, the 24th, between in the afternoon. Sorry? Yes, I do. Yeah. Well, we are on in the afternoon. So in the afternoon on the Orchard stage I came yesterday with a thing to sign. at Cliff Fest, which is over at Cliff College, just in the Peak District. If you go to the Cliff College website or Google Cliff Fest, we're going to be on the Orchard stage. Yeah. So yes, and on the rider it said, extra guitars can be booked. Ooh. I can't play one guitar, never mind several guitars, but I'll have a go. So if you are free on that bank holiday weekend and you want to come for a day, or camping is available as well, then just Google that and we shall see you in May. But we'll stick some more information up about that. I think that is the notices. Yes, good. Right, so I guess what we've spoken about in terms of that sense of belonging and being valued as we are, and that sense of being together means that each of us, because of who we are, just as we are, have something to offer to the world that only we can offer, and the world is a better place because we're in it. I absolutely believe that. So whatever you are going through, whoever you are, I just really want and pray that you will know that you are an amazing custodian of God, a bearer of the divine, of hope, of love, of positivity, of welcome and inclusion, and that the world, through the way you are and who you are, is a better place because of your, not just your what you do or what you say, but how you say it and what you do and how you do it, and just because you are you. And so therefore we can offer who we are to being part of building heaven on earth for everyone. So I just want us to perhaps share in this together. And again, if you want to join in with the words, you're welcome to.
All parent, yet by mystery, three in one. At the gift of this new day begun, we emerge from the peace and terrors of the night, summoned by one in whom darkness is as light. As day again from night is riven, put on the armour to you given, and heed the call to this day's quest, not for ourselves, but for another's behest. For the sake of all creation, we commit this day's oblation. For the sake of one race, one kin, in the name of the once and future King, let the adventure of this day begin.
Yeah. So just there we go, and just go and be the awesomeness that you are, basically. And so, like that moment at a gig where perhaps your favourite song comes on, and the moment where people perhaps stop filming the gig that they're at, but actually just put their phone torch on, and there's that moment where everyone just moves and we can see these beautiful bits of light representing each person who've come with all sorts of different stories from all sorts of different places, but in this one moment across physical space and the kind of internet space, that actually this sense of connection and togetherness from a shared experience. And that shared experience goes with us into the rest of the day, into the next day, And so the world is transformed, and we are transformed from glory into glory. Which is a long-winded way of saying, sway with me, metal complain, in the mid-afternoon metal thing. Sway with me, mid-afternoon metal complain. So thank you, whether you are part of this on-site in St Paul's in Dronfield, and to wish you on-site at St Paul's, not in Dronfield, but in Norton Lees. And thank you for joining us online as well. You've been you, I've been me, she's been Hild from Yorkshire, I know. Until next time, and there will be a next time, goodbye.